My name's Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm going to tell you which were the top 10 highest grossing tours of 2024, music tours. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Tell me if you went to see any of these artists. Well, this list was made by Pollstar, who had the numbers and released. And let's start from number 10. Let's start the top 10. The number 10 was Madonna. Madonna made more than $178 million with her tour. And then we moved to number 9, and now is finally a rock and roll band, one of the 3 which are among the top 10. It is Metallica, and Metallica is currently promoting their latest album, 72 Seasons, released in 2023. And they made 1 million more than Madonna. They made more than $179 million. And they toured in the United States, Europe, everywhere. You know, I don't remember they coming to South America. They didn't were in South America or before, or Asia. I think they didn't went to this year. But I think they went to Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Number 8, Zach Bryan. He made about $199 million. It's $20 million more than Metallica. Number 7, we had the Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny, who is one of the most successful artists these days, for sure, in the world. And he made about $210 million, almost $211 million actually. Position number 6 is another rock and roll band, a band, probably the most enduring band of all time in rock and roll music, for sure. The Rolling Stones. They are on the road for more than 6 decades. They started, in 1964, right? And the first album was released in 1964, actually, and the band started in 62. And they made more than $235 million this year. They're currently promoting also their latest album, which was released in 2023, Hackney Diamonds, which has so many great songs. I don't know if you had the chance to hear, but if you don't, go check out Angry. What a fantastic riff. I think it's one of the greatest rock and roll songs from the past decade, for sure. And I mean, it's a fantastic song, and the whole album is good. The song with Lady Gaga is great. If you haven't heard, you should check it out. They had Paul McCartney, Elton John, Bill Wyman, the former Rolling Stones bassist, playing in it, and also some drum tracks of the late drummer Charlie Watts. He was also part of the record, although he already had passed away when they finished it and released. Position number 5 is another famous rock and roll artist, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. He was touring with the famous E Street Band, his famous backup band, and he made a little bit more than Rolling Stones, about a little bit more than $251 million. Maybe it's because of the price of the tickets. I don't know, because people often say that Bruce tickets are really, really expensive. I don't know if they're more expensive than the Rolling Stones. I don't live in the USA, so I don't know how that is, or when they played around the world, because I live in Brazil, and the Stones and Bruce don't come here for quite a while already, more than 10 years, I guess. Rolling Stones for sure, but almost 10 years, and Bruce was here around 2017, if I'm not mistaken. But let's move on. The next 4 ones are not rock and roll acts, but some might consider a few of them rock and roll acts. But let's see if you agree with that. Number 4 was Luis Miguel. He made $261 million, a little bit more than this. So he was on the position number 4 and reached the top 3. we had the famous Pink, which could be a little bit of rock and roll. She has rock and roll influences, but she is more considered a pop artist. She made quite a lot, much more than Luis Miguel. She made $367 million during her tour in 2024. The second place went to Coldplay, which is a rock and roll pop band. It's arguable. I don't see them as really a rock and roll band, but a lot of people might see that way. They made a little bit more than Pink. They made $421 million. And the first place, even my grandmother could, tell you who he was. It's the most successful, famous, praised artist in the world for years already, Taylor Swift. Coldplay made $421 million. Taylor Swift made more than $600 million, $600 million more than Coldplay. She made more than $1 billion just touring, just in the 2024 tour. So, it's a really impressive number. But at least we have 3 rock and roll bands. But sadly, on the top 10, these are old bands and artists. And you see, the only other older, besides the rock and roll artists, the other acts, Pink and Coldplay are already in the music world for, at least they have fame for almost 2 decades. But the rest, they're really young artists who appeared, almost like 15 years ago, like Taylor and many others who are in the list. And Madonna is the oldest one, alongside Metallica, the Rolling Stones, obviously, and Bruce Springsteen. So it's not cool to see that, because it's sad that new rock and roll bands don't have the exposure these pop artists like Taylor Swift has. So let's hope this can change in the future and rock and roll can be a little bit more famous and successful. And that's it. If you want to read more, go to the description, read the article about it. You can find the original source, the poster there. And let's talk about it. What do you think? You went to see any of these artists or not? Okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.